Hi. You know, my school teachers would be really surprised to see me here giving this speech in front of so many wonderful people. And today you're gonna know why. Tell me, what is the purpose of school education? You heard it right. Well, some people say it's to get good grades, to get into the best universities, or to get the best jobs. Actually, it's none of this. I believe that the purpose of education is to inspire an action and to lead us to personal fulfillment. And yet, it's kind of hard to notice by looking at our education system today. Our current education system trains us, literally trains us, to value status over impact. What do I mean by this? If I did well in class, I got 5. If I did poorly, I got 2. Year after year, it used to convince me that success, ultimate success, isn't getting 5. Instead of viewing success as an actual improvement to the world, school taught me that success is in achieving certain status relative to my peers, which is getting 5 basically. This is education's cardinal sin. An unfortunate side effect is that young, talented, and hardworking individuals grow up thinking that they are failures only because they didn't get this goddamn 5. You know, everybody is a genius, even me. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, well, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. I remember how my school teachers always tried to fill us up with this excessive amounts of information, I mean, necessary or not. But education is not simply information, right? Education is a mindset. It's a work ethic of trial and error, exercised through the course of a whole life. And even then, we can never become educated. We can only work hard to become a little bit better than we were the day, the week, the months, or a year before. But that's working hard for work's own sake. Not for us to reflect on this information, to understand it, or to apply it somehow. And just memorize it. Like, why? I don't know. To pass your exams, to get into universities. And when you finally get into universities, they're like, forget everything you learned at school. It's different in university. You know, it's funny. Really, that even most of the companies I tried to get into wanted to hire creative problem solvers, people who can think for themselves and come up with outside-of-the-box solutions. And when you finally get the job, they're like, forget everything you learned at university. It's different in the real world. Like, seriously? And they're also require some 4 to 5 years of work experience. Man, I just graduated from a freaking university. How do I supposed to get this work experience from, right? Guys, it seems like we have to get internship straight after nursery school. Anyways, they don't need those memorization machines which can retell some facts from history or formulas from algebra. They need people who can creatively apply their knowledge acquired from higher institutions or schools. And yet, most of the classes students take while growing up nowadays actually serve to kill the creativity in them. School system is literally designed to educate students out of creativity. We are hardly ever rewarded for ability to create, understand, or reflect on information that we receive. Rather, we are rewarded for ability to memorize. Don't get me wrong, maybe memorization was something good before the internet, but in today's world, what is the point of memorizing something when you can just Google it, right? Memorization. See, I'm the person who's spending a hell lot of money right now just to learn mathematics. Maybe it's because my math teacher at school used to shout at me, told me that I'm freaking stupid. Well, I mean, I still don't need those trigonometry formulas and so on. Yeah, you heard that right, Miss Malik. I still don't need your goddamn trigonometry formulas, and I'm doing pretty good. Anyways, that's all things about school, right? But what about higher education? New York Fed estimates that 1 in 3 college graduates are in jobs that do not really require college education. See, the point is, higher institutions promises to prepare us for a world after school. And for that promise, me, and most of you guys here, voluntarily went into debt. Unfortunately, for many, that education they received wasn't enough, because they found themselves underemployed or becoming a taxi driver. Well, you can ask me now, like, what are you proposing? To give up on schools and colleges? Of course not. I'm not saying to give up on schools and colleges, or I'm not saying to blame education system for every single failure in your life. What I'm saying here is that education, as of today, needs an evolution, not revolution. The goal of education should be to encourage students to better the world for themselves and for others, while equipping them with the skills, necessary skills to do so. Learning by doing is by far the most effective strategy out there. Not memorization strategies, not high grades, not these 5s. Don't punish us if we fail to memorize some broad facts. Don't punish us if we fail to get these 5s or high grades. We are literally wired to learn from our mistakes, not to go through life without ever making any type of mistake. That's simply not possible. I mean, the learning process, the life itself, is an ongoing process of trying, failing, learning, and failing again. And that's something, maybe the only thing which can get us from that institutionalized fear, this stigmatized fear that we cannot screw up. We need to screw up. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that can show us that distinction between school and the real world. All these memorization strategies, all these high grades are not going to get us there. High grades are not going to make us a fortune. Because school teaches us knowledge, but life requires wisdom. Thank you.